Chapter 1: The Farce Caused by the Suitcase. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2022, late August, Shanghai University's opening day. As a top 10 university in China, Shanghai Metropolitan University's gates were swarming with bright-eyed freshmen. Upperclassmen strutted around in their summer best. Local trust fund kids, looking smug, got dropped off in their parents' luxury cars. International students, traveling solo, hauled their luggage. The whole scene was a real mix of humanity buzzing with energy. High school's the last bit of innocence, college is a whole different ball game. When Qian, a sophomore in the student union, was working the welcome booth, and she'd put on a little makeup to really shine. Her tight light gray shirt and jeans showed off her killer legs, grabbing everyone's attention. Loving the stares, when Qian couldn't help but feel pleased, she lived for being the center of attention. Qian, check out that student driving a Porsche 718. Shanghai license plate, and a weird one at that. Total freshman move. Another, less striking, girl from the student union was drooling over the fancy car. Another girl, rocking the black stockings look, was also watching, quiet but interested. A Porsche 718 costs at least 70-80 grand. Whoever's driving that's got some serious family money. This girl was ready to pounce, waiting for Daddy Warbucks to step out so she could help him get acquainted with the campus. Translation: she was hunting for a rich husband. When Qian just rolled her eyes. This girl was a lost cause, only thinking about landing a sugar daddy. It's sad to see someone like that get into a good school, even if it is an art program. Still, when Qian couldn't help but sneak a peek at the Porsche, she was just curious what kind of freshman rolls up in a car like that. Plenty of students at Shanghai U drive fancy cars, but they usually already have girlfriends, sometimes a whole string of them. These days, the gold diggers on campus only go after the A-list guys. There were a bunch of luxury cars out front, BMWs, Mercedes, Audis, the usual suspects. But the Porsche 718 stood out from the crowd. Women only know car brands. And Porsches are just fancier than the others. A trio of girls, who thought they were all that and a bag of chips, headed towards the Porsche. Yuan.Gu climbed out of the Porsche, practically bursting with pride. Driving a sports car to school gave him a serious superiority complex. Yuan.Gu scanned the students lugging their bags, registering on foot, and sneered inwardly. Spotting the pretty girls heading his way, he leaned against the hood, striking a pose. He was just waiting for the co-eds to come crawling for his number. One girl in particular was really something. Bang! A huge crash. An enormous suitcase slammed into the front of the Porsche. The road leading to the university gate was an incline. A suitcase, packed with at least 30 pounds of stuff, tumbled downhill and dented the Porsche. What the fuck? Whose damn suitcase is that? Yuan.Gu's face turned red as he screamed. This car was a second-hand Porsche he'd finally convinced his dad to buy him after getting into Shanghai University. He treated it like gold. Touching the steering wheel made him feel like he was on top of the world. Now, before he even got a girlfriend, his car was wrecked, and Yuan.Gu went ballistic. How much does it cost to fix a dent like that on a Porsche? Damn, that girl's seriously unlucky. Seeing how mean that guy looks, I hope he doesn't hit her. She doesn't look like she's got a lot of money. What's she gonna do? That the parents and students who were registering watched in horror and whispered among themselves. The girls who had been trying to flirt with Yuan.Gu also stopped to watch the drama unfold. In the middle of the chaos, the suitcase's owner, wearing a faded t-shirt and scuffed canvas shoes, Yun Weiwei kept her head down, trying to hide her face with her hair, tears welling behind her glasses. She was in trouble. Her suitcase had dented the car. Someone in the village bought a car for a little over 10,000. If this dent is on a car that cost over 70,000, it'll probably be a few thousand to fix. Yun Weiwei thought to herself. She'd been number 1 in the county on the college entrance exam, and the government gave her a reward of 10,000 yuan. After tuition, she should have a few thousand left, which should be enough to cover it. I didn't mean to. I'll pay for the repairs, Yun Weiwei mumbled, head still down. Hey. This is a Porsche 718. The base model costs 70 or 80 grand, and the upgrades can push it close to $1 million. You're a broke country bumpkin, you think you can afford that? Li Yuan-Gu roared. Your parents are gonna have to sell their house to pay for this. Boom! Yun Weiwei's head was pounding, she felt like the sky was falling, millions of dollars. How could she ever pay that back? Yun Weiwei stood there, helpless and dizzy, on the verge of a breakdown. Some of the parents sending their kids to college felt bad for the unlucky girl. One of them said, "Take it easy, you can't just make someone sell their house. You need to go to the shop and get an estimate first." "Yeah, I don't think the damage is that bad. It's just a dent, it won't cost that much." Li Yuan-Gu got even angrier when he heard that. He started ranting, "You don't know what you're talking about. This is a new car, I just bought it a month ago. What about the car's depreciation? My expenses, my mental anguish while it's in the shop. I'm telling you, you're paying me at least 10 grand. Yun Weiwei didn't know anything about car repairs, and it sounded like she'd have to pay 10 grand, so she lowered her head even further. She tried to hold it in, but tears welled up in her eyes. She made up her mind, she wouldn't go to college. She'd give him the money on her card, a little over 1,000, and pay him the rest after working. "I'll give you 1,000 yuan now, and I'll work part-time to pay the rest back." 1,000? That's a drop in the bucket. Call your parents to get the rest. Li Yuan-Gu snapped. He was suddenly happy, it seemed like he could squeeze a lot of money out of her. He could use that money to pick up girls in college. Li Yuan-Gu looked at Yun Weiwei, who was silent, and yelled, "Did you hear me? Get your parents to pay." Yun Weiwei's shoulders trembled slightly, but she didn't say anything. "Call your parents and tell them to come. Why are you acting so pathetic? Tell me, are you deaf? If you can't afford it, let your parents handle it. That's the right thing to do." Yun Weiwei hunched over even more, filled with shame. She wanted to tell him that she didn't have any parents anymore, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. She didn't want to be pitied. She was truly helpless. Boom, boom, the roar of an engine grew louder. Chapter 2. Then pay 15 in compensation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A red supercar practically screamed for attention in the sunlight. Its sleek design, combined with the engine's ear-splitting roar, instantly drew everyone's eyes to the fiery red machine. The logo? A golden prancing horse, a world-class supercar, a Ferrari. Even the proud and arrogant Li Yuan-Gu couldn't help but be drawn to the Ferrari's cool and sophisticated presence, a hint of envy creeping into his gaze. This was the kind of luxury car he dreamed of. Suddenly, his beat-up, used Porsche felt like a pile of scrap metal. As it got closer, someone recognized the Ferrari for what it was. Holy crap, am I seeing things? That's $1 million ride right there. One of the greats, a Ferrari La Ferrari. Someone's rolling in style. Ferraris hold their value like crazy. A used La Ferrari can actually cost more than a brand new one. Tell me about it. I heard a celeb drove a Ferrari for 2 years and sold it for, like, $500,000 profit. Can you believe that? Envious eyes followed the Ferrari as it cruised by. The Ferrari, resembling a massive shark, pulled up to the entrance, its butterfly doors slowly rising. Out stepped Gu Wenqing. While cruising, one hand on the wheel, Gu Wenqing had noticed a crowd gathered around a Porsche. Approaching, he quickly pieced together what was happening. Looking at the girl in the faded clothes, he pretty much knew the whole story. He remembered being a young kid like that, getting into college without any connections, whatever. He was a sucker for a sob story, help out if he could. Time to say goodbye to the poor sap image. Before Gu Wenqing could say anything, Yun Weiwei, head bowed, mustered the courage to speak. Please don't ask my parents for money. I can work a part-time job to pay you back. Hearing this only fueled Li Yuan-Gu's anger. He was inexplicably jealous of Gu Wenqing, resentful that his thunder had been stolen by this rich and handsome stranger. The thought made him even more furious. Work to pay it back. How long am I supposed to wait? 3 years? 5? 10? Being poor doesn't give you a free pass. If you can't afford to pay, get your parents down here. You think you can handle this yourself? I want the money today, no excuses. Li Yuangui's loud, obnoxious ranting started to rub people the wrong way. He was close to crossing a line. Several bystanders frowned, thinking Li Yuangui was being a total jerk, acting like a big shot just because he drove a Porsche. Wenqing scanned the crowd, his gaze finally settling on Li Yuangui. He spoke deliberately. So, you're all proud of yourself for driving a Porsche? What gives you the right to look down on others? You didn't choose to be born into wealth. You just lucked out. What's so special about that? What makes you think you're better than anyone else? Wenqing's words were sharp and precise. He hadn't expected to run into such an entitled jerk while signing up for school in Shanghai. To be honest, Li Yuangui was intimidated by Wenqing, who was driving a multi-million-dollar car. But with all eyes on him, he couldn't back down. Mind your own business, Li Yuangui retorted, his voice wavering slightly. Then, turning back to the timid Yun Weiwei, he unleashed his pent-up anger on her, his voice dripping with venom. What are you hiding from? Everyone saw you damage the car. Stop playing innocent. Pay up, my time is valuable. With that, Li Yuangui reached out to grab Yun Weiwei, ready to give her a piece of his mind. Wenqing shoved Li Yuangui's hand away, his voice cold. It's an old Porsche 718. How much are we talking? I'll pay for it. His bluff called, Li Yuangui reacted like a cornered wolf. He stammered, who told you it was an old model? I just bought this thing a month ago. Just for you, I won't push her any harder, just give me 15 and it will be over. On the surface, Li Yuangui acted like he was doing them a favor, secretly ecstatic inside. He was about to score big time. For a guy who drives a car, 15 probably seems like pocket change. Alright, but your 5 or 6-year-old Porsche isn't worth that kind of money for such a small scratch. Wenqing casually grabbed a brick and smashed the Porsche's front bumper to pieces. Wenqing glanced at his handiwork and said with a smile, that's the price of 15. You're taking this too far. Oh, really? What are you gonna do about it? You think you're the only one who can push people around? Just wait, I'm calling the cops. If you have any issues, talk to my lawyer. Without waiting for Li Yuangui to finish, Wenqing interrupted him, flicking a lawyer's business card at Li Yuangui, leave the rest to his lawyer. Money talked. With tens of billions sitting in his bank account, Wenqing wasn't worried about a used Porsche, or even 10 of them. That's so cool. My boyfriend is so awesome. I feel so safe right now, Mom, I think I'm in love. If only life could always be as amazing as seeing him for the first time. Handsome, rich, and so kind, what a catch. The girls around them were completely smitten with Wenqing. Who wouldn't be drawn to a handsome, righteous, generous, and wealthy guy? Wenqian also couldn't help but admire Wenqing. His simple white shirt and black pants looked elegant, and expensive, definitely a custom-made luxury brand. The white shirt really complemented Wen's handsome appearance. So young. What a waste to not cast such great looks in a schoolgirl movie. Wenqian sighed to herself. Qianshan, my Prince Charming has arrived. I'm head over heels. Senior sister Hesse gushed, when Qian rolled her eyes. What happened to the Porsche driving junior you were so interested in? Don't even mention that loser. I only have eyes for Junior Bema now. Hey, what's your major? This campus is huge and confusing. Let me, as a senior, show you around and help you get to your dorm. Don't listen to her, Xiong Shao. I'll take my junior. No, I'll take him. I insist, I'll show him around. Countless male students clutching their acceptance letters wanted to cry. Why were they all being shown around by guys? And all the beautiful upperclassmen were fighting over the Ferrari driver Wenqing. They all thought in their hearts, rich people really were different. Chapter 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking at Wenqing being fawned over by Hesse, the senior was not only carrying his suitcase but had even bought him a sparkling water. All the guys signing up were green with envy. The difference was insane. Some people roll up in multi-million-dollar supercars. The best they could do were the Shanghai locals who had family drop them off. The rest were stuck taking the bus or subway. The gap hit everyone hard on day one. Some were born with a silver spoon, others destined to be workhorses. The dude in the supercar was on another level. After Gu Wenqing and Hesse left, the chatter started. That's how it's done. A real man. Makes some of us look pretty pathetic. Can't even compare. One's a trust fund kid, the other's just some nouveau riche. Please. Showing up in a Porsche in Shanghai is just sad. Yuan.Gu felt his face burning, hearing the comments around him. He was humiliated. Driving up in a Porsche felt pretty good at first, and a few hot seniors were even checking him out. Then disaster struck. The Porsche crapped out, and Hesse, who was practically his, bailed with Gu Wenqing. Gu Wenqing outclassed him in looks, height, style, even the car he was driving. They weren't even in the same league. Yuan.Gu's face went white as he felt everyone's eyes on him. He wanted to disappear. This ain't over. Yuan.Gu muttered, glaring at Yun Weiwei before hopping in his car to escape the spotlight. Someone knocked on the window. Hello, I'm Mr. Gu's lawyer. Damn it. He wasn't going to get away with anything. Yuan.Gu saw the guy in the suit and knew his little money-grabbing scheme was dead. *** system notification *** new title unlocked. Hero saves the damsel. Reward issued $1 billion, new skill acquired invincible. Gu Wenqing ignored Hesse's flirting as the mechanical voice echoed in his head on the way to the dorm and immediately checked out the invincible skill. Invincible, enhances the host's body in multiple ways, multiplying and optimizing bone structure, physique, strength, and damage resistance. After a jolt ran through him, Gu Wenqing felt incredible, his slight gut morphing into a perfect 8-pack. He could feel his strength surging. He could probably take on a few regular guys now. System, you're the real deal. Gu Wenqing hadn't quite figured out the title unlocking rules yet. Maybe it was random. This was only his second time. The first time he unlocked a title was when he got his Shanghai University acceptance letter. Scholarship kid makes good. The rewards were massive that time. Got $100 billion and a multi-million-dollar Ferrari. Ferrari. He went from broke to billionaire overnight. Guess doing the right thing pays off. He'd just been helping Yun Weiwei, who was getting pushed around, and suddenly he was hero saves the damsel. Senior Hesse was definitely going the extra mile. When they got to the dorm, she even made Gu Wenqing's bed in front of his 3 roommates. Then, she carefully unpacked his suitcase, smoothing out any wrinkles before neatly folding and putting everything in the closet. Gu Wenqing just stood back, admiring the view. Hesse's figure was top tier. A tight apricot dress and white sneakers, sexy and playful at the same time, she was a mature hottie with a youthful vibe. Pale skin, tiny waist, and a pretty face. Is this college life? The hot seniors are definitely a plus. Gu Wenqing was looking forward to college. He watched Hesse fuss over him, sipping his sparkling water, feeling like he should help. He knew what Hesse was after. As a broke kid, Gu Wenqing would have hated girls like her, but now, with billions in the bank, he couldn't say he hated them or that he liked them, really. It was a transaction. Everyone got something out of it, as long as no one got hurt. The old saying was right. The dragon slayer becomes the dragon. We become the people we used to hate. In the dorm, the 3 roommates stared, jaws dropped. Their world was turned upside down, a goddess-level girl making his bed and unpacking his clothes. Unheard of, but it was happening right in front of them, blowing their minds, way out of their league. These days, there were more guys than girls, and if a dude landed someone like that, he'd treat her like gold, who'd act like a maid, folding clothes and making beds. Their new roommate was a smooth operator, making the hot senior fall for him so quickly. The 3 of them huddled, whispering. Think they're dating? No way. Saw her at the gate, she's one of the greeters. Damn. He's good. How long did it take to sign up? Less than half a day and the seniors already all over him. He's my hero. I'd give up 10 years of my life for a girlfriend like that. +1. +2. Hesse, finished with her work, had a light sheen of sweat on her forehead. Yanran had hoped that after all her effort, the freshman would definitely praise her and ask for her number. Yanran looked expectantly at Gu Wenqing, who was about 6 feet tall. At the stairway, Gu Wenqing simply smiled slightly. Thanks, senior. I'll buy you dinner sometime when I'm free. Gu Wenqing went back to meet his new roommates. Ah. Is that it? Yanran was disappointed. No sincerity. He said he would take her to dinner but didn't even ask for her contact. Seriously? Freshman, add me on WeChat. I can be your tour guide in Shanghai, Yanran said. Gu Wenqing smirked. Playing hard to get, huh? Chapter 4 Roommates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as Gu Wenqing walked into the dorm, 3 pairs of eyes locked on him. What's up with the stairs? Were they thinking he was some kind of art prodigy? The room was a standard setup for 4, with beds and desks. The other 3 guys were already unpacking their stuff. One was a tall, muscular dude with dark skin. Another was a skinny guy with glasses and a smile that seemed a little off, like he was perpetually annoyed. The last guy was trying way too hard to look cool. He'd clearly rushed to get his hair dyed blonde after the college entrance exam, and he was rocking the latest iPhone while telling his family he'd arrived safe. Dude, spill the tea. How'd you snag that hottie so fast? Teach us your ways. The dark-skinned guy asked in his thick Sichuan accent. There's nothing to teach. We're just friends, Gu Wenqing replied. What was he supposed to say? Yeah, I can drive a Ferrari with one hand, wanna learn? Come on, man. She was all over you, she's definitely got a thing for you. You'll be dating in no time. That they introduced themselves. The flashy one was Huang Zicheng from Shanghai. The dark-skinned guy, Zhou Tao, was from rural Sichuan and talked like he was trying to imitate Trump. The skinny guy with the weird smile was Zheng Xiaohong. Zhou Tao chuckled when he heard the name. Sounds like a girl's name. Huang Zicheng laughed too. Zheng Xiaohong just shrugged it off. With introductions out of the way, the guys started getting to know each other for real. They were chatting when Huang Zicheng, glued to his phone, suddenly cursed. Damn! This dude is a total loser, that he showed his phone to the others. It was a post on the school forum about the whole Porsche incident. The headline screamed. Porsche 718 driver a jerk, says poor people complain too much, accuses girl of demanding outrageous sums. Porsche 718 driver arrogant and overbearing, demanding girls sell her house to pay him. Shocking. Freshman drives multi-million-dollar Ferrari sports car, plays hero. Small potatoes. It would be even more embarrassing if the entire Porsche was smashed to pieces. Profile of Yuan.Gu, owner of Porsche 718. Begging for the contact information of Ferrari god. The story had blown up on the school's online forum. Gu Wenqing and Yuan.Gu had become instant celebrities, though Yuan.Gu was getting roasted alive. Holy crap. A multi-million-dollar Ferrari. That's insane, Zhou Tao said, awestruck. If I had that kind of car, I'd be swimming in dates. Zheng Xiaohong sighed wistfully. Even Huang Zicheng, who came from a well-off family, looked envious. His family was comfortable, but a car like that was out of their league. You're not wrong. A trust fund kid driving a multi-million-dollar Ferrari? His family's gotta be worth at least $1 billion. Small thinking. We're talking tens of billions. It's crazy to even think about it. His family must be in real estate, healthcare, something like that. That everyone was busy sighing with envy when they realized Gu Wenqing was just sitting there quietly. Zhou Tao grinned. So, old Gu, what do you think this mega-rich dude's family does? Maybe he's just a regular guy, Gu Wenqing replied. Before he got the system, his family was pretty much dirt poor. Huh, old Gu, you're a riot. They all laughed, completely oblivious to the fact that the Ferrari owner they were talking about was sitting right there. Gu Wenqing didn't bother correcting them. They'd find out eventually. he wasn't planning on staying in the dorm for long anyway. Shanghai housing prices were ridiculous, but it wasn't a problem when you were worth billions. If he wanted a place, he could buy whatever he wanted. The Tang Chinipin, that fancy building in Shanghai. He could buy it if he wanted, 1 unit or 10. Money was the one thing he didn't lack. He planned to buy a house and move out as soon as possible. Over in the women's dorm, in room 302, when Qian and Wang Yanran were alone, they'd been helping new students move in all day, and they were exhausted. Both of them had showered and were lying in their beds, when Qian hesitated for a moment, then finally asked, "Did you get the freshman's WeChat?" "Heck yeah. My charm is irresistible," Wang Yanran said smugly, wrinkling her nose. "Oh, okay," Wen Qian said, giving up. "Just you watch. I'll have him wrapped around my finger in 10 days. Wang Yanran declared, kicking her long legs. Can't let Gu Pingyi's appetite be hung. Time waits for no one. The junior is not bad, and he is very rich. She is afraid that something will happen over time. In case other flirtatious things are cheaper, she has nowhere to cry. When Qian spoke out to remind her, "Don't eat chicken or lose money instead." Wang Yanran didn't care, and she wasn't stupid, so how could she be at a disadvantage? She opened her WeChat, took a photo, edited the words and sent it to her junior. Back in Gu Wenqing's room, the guys were trying to decide where to grab dinner. They were all from different parts of the country, so drinks were definitely in order. Gu Wenqing's phone buzzed, but he ignored it, still joking around with Zhou Tao and the others. Huang Zicheng piped up. "Hey, can I bring my girl tonight? If so, I'll bring my girlfriend." "Whoa. Look at you, Huang Zicheng. You were holding out on us. Now me and glasses are even more single." Zhou Tao complained. "Hey, play it cool. If she can, tell her to bring her dorm mates, and you can get lucky," Huang Zicheng said with a grin. Gu Wenqing let them ramble on for a bit, then remembered his Ferrari was still parked outside the school gate. He needed to register the car with the security office to be able to drive it on campus. He excused himself and left the dorm. It was a hot summer day, the cicadas buzzed. Gu Wenqing loved summer. Less clothes. All kinds of short skirts and long legs dazzled. Even without the Ferrari boost, the handsome Gu Wenqing was turning heads as he walked across campus. Boom, star. "Oops," a girl gasped. Gu Wenqing felt a soft bump, and a whiff of perfume. Before he could even react, the girl who'd bumped into him was already hurrying away. Chapter 5. The BMW 5 series is not good for me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Hey, Chen Yinxue, you got into Shanghai University too?" Gu Wenqing exclaimed, surprised to run into her. Who knew, thousands of miles from home, he'd bump into someone he knew at college. Chen Yinxue was wearing a JK uniform, a sailor suit with a white shirt, a light blue bow tie, and, well, she filled it out nicely. "Do I know you? Who are you?" Chen Yinxue asked, looking at him suspiciously. She didn't recognize the handsome guy standing in front of her. "I went to Yanghai too," Gu Wenqing replied with a smile. She was the school beauty at Yanghai. Every guy in school had a crush on her. He, on the other hand, was just a regular kid. No surprise she didn't remember him. Their only interaction had been in PE when their classes played badminton together. Gu Wenqing had thought she might remember. Guess not. He didn't say anything else and just walked away. So what if she was the school beauty? He wasn't about to start simping when he was worth billions. "Yinxue, who was that?" A fair-skinned, almost Korean-looking guy stepped up beside her. This was Chu Bowen. He'd been in her class in high school, and he was also a rich kid. He'd been chasing her for 3 years. When he found out she was applying to Shanghai University, he'd applied too. He'd barely arrived when he saw some taller guy trying to flirt with his girl. He was not happy. "Someone from high school," Chen Yinxue said. "Oh, great star." Chu Bowen's eyes narrowed. His first thought was that this guy was another sucker who'd applied to the same school to keep chasing her. The nerve. Everyone at Yanghai knew she was practically his girlfriend. "If I get the chance," Chu Bowen thought, "I'm going to teach that kid a lesson." Chen Yinxue really didn't want to have dinner with him. but their parents were old friends. And she couldn't keep turning him down, so she reluctantly agreed. She actually hated him, but she tried not to show it too much. The two walked out of the school gate. Chu Bowen recognized Gu Wenqing instantly. It was him. Chu Bowen smirked, but put on his best gentleman act for Qin Yinxue. Hey, Yinxue said you went to Shanghai. That he didn't notice the annoyed look she gave him for calling her Yinxue. Yep, Gu Wenqing said. Waiting for a ride? I've got a BMW 5 Series. I could give you a lift, Chu Bowen said, trying to sound casual. He made sure everyone could hear him say I've got a BMW 5 Series. Enjoying their reactions, he continued. Don't be shy. We're all from the same hometown. We should help each other out. Riding in a BMW is way better than the bus or subway. That he pulled out his BMW key and pressed it, and the lights of the BMW 5 Series blinked on. Damn, star, the other students were impressed, driving a BMW 5 Series in college. That's pretty baller, even if it's not a Ferrari. They looked at Chu Bowen with envy. Now it made sense why the hottie was with this ordinary-looking dude. Enjoying their envy, Chu Bowen felt like he was back in high school. It was so satisfying. Oh, no thanks, Gu Wenqing said, shaking his head. He could see right through the guy. He was pretending to be nice, but was really just showing off. He was using Gu Wenqing as a stepping stone to look good. I bought my BMW 5 Series for over 500,000 yuan. You've probably never been in a car this expensive. You should check it out, Chu Bowen said arrogantly. You and I are not the same, kid. You think you have a chance with Chen Yinxue? Dream on, star. I have my own car. Oh, what kind? You're not afraid of getting heatstroke riding a rented bike on a day like this? Chu Bowen sneered. Gu Wenqing walked away towards the fiery red Ferrari, and the crowd of students knew who it belonged to, so they moved aside. I've never been in a BMW 5 Series, and honestly, I've never been in a car that costs less than several million, Gu Wenqing said as he walked. He opened the door and slid inside. With a bang, the engine roared, the air went silent. 3 seconds later, everyone started talking at once. Holy crap, the Ferrari belongs to that kid? A multi-million-dollar Ferrari? That's insane. He's living the dream. Everyone stared at the Ferrari, wishing they were Gu Wenqing. Chu Bowen looked like he'd swallowed something nasty. He'd just been showing off his measly BMW 5 Series. He was trying to make Gu Wenqing feel inferior about not being able to afford a BMW, and now Gu Wenqing was casually driving away in a Ferrari worth millions. Chu Bowen was humiliated. He ran off while everyone was still staring at the Ferrari. In the car, Gu Wenqing figured it was time to take a drive around Shanghai and get to know the city. Vroom, star, the engine roared, and the car sped into traffic. All the drivers gave the new Ferrari a wide berth. On the way, Gu Wenqing got a call from his mother, asking about registration stuff and telling him to visit his uncle sometime. His uncle was the most successful member of the family. Chapter 6 Wang Yanran was accused. You are listening at novelfull.audio. My uncle's career took off after he married a local Shanghai woman and had a daughter. Over the past decade, they'd occasionally return to Yang for Chinese New Year. I remember my aunt and cousin acting like they were better than everyone else, especially looking down on Gu Wenqing's family. Gu Wenqing wouldn't visit his uncles unless his mom made him. The thought of their snobby attitude bugged him. Screw it. Now that I've got money, I'm gonna live it up. Gu Wenqing thought. Magic University, Girls' Dorm 302, Wang Yanran was practically asleep waiting for a reply, and her classmate wasn't giving her the time of day. She felt slighted. This was new. Usually, those rich kids and guys would be all over her, replying instantly, but she'd just ignore them. One word from her and some dude would flood her inbox with messages. But today, epic fail with this underclassman. Scrolling back, she'd sent like 20 or 30 texts, and nothing. Worst part, she even sent some selfies, feeling like they were a little too racy, but figuring they'd do the trick. Could he be with another girl? Panic started setting in. She couldn't just sit around. Wang Yanran gritted her teeth, feeling a bit desperate, and hit the voice call button. Meanwhile, Gu Wenqing was enjoying the perks of driving a supercar when his phone rang. Gu Wenqing, hey, what's up? Asterisk gotta keep the upper hand with this artist, asterisk he thought. Otherwise, she'll just get more full of herself. Hey, I know this amazing restaurant in Shanghai. Wanna grab a bite? Wang Yanran purred into the phone. Sure, meet me at the school gate. Gu Wenqing hadn't had lunch, and hearing about food actually made him hungry, so he agreed. Yay! Wang Yanran was thrilled he hadn't turned her down. Her face lit up, the smile was just like the ones those desperate guys gave her when she finally replied, the classic smile of a fanboy. You can't understand when you are in the game. When Qian, her roommate, saw it all and sighed. Even Yanran can't help turning into a simp. If those guys who chase her saw this, they'd lose it. When Qian and Wang Yanran were the girls of the dance department, called the flowers of the department by the guys online, their curves and long legs had a major effect on the male population. After hanging up, Gu Wenqing noticed dozens of unread messages on WeChat. Student like it. Picture. Fresh out of the package. Juniors can collect. Sis got socks for days, I can show them to my junior. Attached, a ton of selfies in different styles, silk in every color. Leprechaun vibes. Holy crap. How am I supposed to handle this? Gu Wenqing felt the heat rising. Asterisk this is prime time for lust, that age where curiosity about the opposite sex is at its peak and like to explore new things. How could anyone hold back seeing these tempting photos, star? Let you play hard to get for now, you'll be begging later. Gu Wenqing fought the urge, slammed on the gas, and the Ferrari sped towards Magic University. Gu Wenqing wasn't one to turn down a beautiful woman who was practically throwing herself at him. With $110 billion in the bank, living large was his motto, and happiness was all that mattered. What makes a man happy? Money, success, and gorgeous women in his arms. Gu Pingyi replied instantly, wear them. Entrance of Magic University, cars streamed by. Wang Yanran was standing at the intersection, clutching her Hermes bag she had saved up for. Her long, slightly wavy hair framed her face, which was already picture-perfect but now enhanced with flawless makeup, light pink eyeshadow, lipstick, and a touch of blush for that innocent look. The light brown crop top showed off her figure. She wore a light-colored mini-skirt on her slender legs, and plaid net stockings on her long fair legs. She dressed sexy, guys passing by couldn't help but stare. Typical dancer. Wang Yanran had the looks and the figure to turn heads. Wang Yanran was all about ambition and knew what she wanted. She never hid her desire for money, but her standards were ridiculously high. She had a ton of rich dudes on WeChat, but she'd never gotten serious with any of them. Just then, a Maserati pulled up beside Wang Yanran. Wang Yanran, it's too hot to be standing around. Get in. Where you headed? I'll take you. The guy behind the wheel was Du Zidong, an upperclassman with a rep as a rich kid. Du Zidong lived for picking up girls. With the Maserati, he had dated a lot of girlfriends, but they just broke up recently. Since he was single, he looked at Wang Yanran more and more beautiful. Turns out it was Du Zidong. Wang Yanran's expression barely flickered. She couldn't stand Du Zidong and his player ways. Without a word, she stepped aside and kept waiting. Du Zidong wasn't fazed. He just chuckled and pulled up next to her again. My family opened a fancy restaurant nearby. Free for a meal today, Du Zidong said, showing off. He flaunted his wealth, trying to win over Wang Yanran, which would give him bragging rights for days at school. Sorry. I'm on a date. And I'm not free today, not free tomorrow, not free ever. Find someone else. Wang Yanran shot him down with a cold glare. Rejected twice. Du Zidong was pissed. He cursed under his breath. Asterisk the whole school knows you're a gold digger. Why the act, star? A date? I know all the rich guys on campus. Who are you dating? Du Zidong was practically spitting with envy. Damn it, someone beat me to this knockout. Wang Yanran just stared straight ahead, not wanting to waste her breath on him. Why so quiet? Afraid to say his name? Is it 'cause he's not as rich as me? His car not as sweet? That's why you're embarrassed. Du Zidong was totally misunderstanding the situation. He figured Wang Yanran's date wasn't as impressive as him, so she was keeping it secret. He added smugly, "It's okay to date someone who's not all that. After all, there aren't many students like me cruising around in $1 million Maserati. Don't compare others with me." Wang Yanran pursed her lips, feeling like this annoying fly wouldn't buzz off. Where is Junior Bema? I wore exactly what he likes. Chapter 7 Unlocking a New Title. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A red Ferrari was speeding towards them. "Damn, Rafa Ferrari." Du Zidong, seeing the Ferrari, practically screamed in excitement from his car, "So freaking cool." Xiao Jun was a car nut, and Ferrari was his favorite supercar brand. Du Zidong, driving his $1 million Maserati, was green with envy. He was so jealous of whoever was behind the wheel of that Ferrari. Then he watched, dumbfounded, as Wang Yanran hopped into the passenger seat. He was stunned. Especially remembering how he'd been trying to show off in front of her just moments before. "Is it because he doesn't have as much money as me? His car isn't as good as mine." Now, those words made Du Zidong want to slap himself silly. Who was he, driving an entry-level sports car, to try and compete with a guy in a multi-million-dollar supercar in terms of wealth? Suddenly, it all clicked for Du Zidong. No wonder Wang Yanran hadn't given him the time of day. She'd found herself a sugar daddy. The woman he was into just got into someone else's Ferrari, and Du Zidong watched its tail lights disappear, his face like death. Ding, star, the host has unlocked a new title, favorite. Reward, high-end Western restaurant. Congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill, one-handed supercar control. One-handed supercar control significantly improves the host's supercar driving ability and track experience, granting the host the skills of a professional racer. Bonus reward, a custom license plate and a special license plate with all leopards. System rewards will be provided to the host in a reasonable manner for convenient use. The system notification finished. Wenqing was taken by surprise, so, unlocking titles didn't just reward him with money and skills, but also with businesses and license plates. There might be even more unexpected perks down the line. One-handed supercar control was a flashy skill, perfect for showing off, especially to impress girls. Imagine drifting one-handed, tearing through S-curves at top speed. The thought alone was exhilarating. Combined with a supercar, this skill was guaranteed to send any girl into overdrive. Wenqing's mind flooded with driving techniques, his skill level skyrocketing. Too bad he was stuck in the city with a low speed limit. He had the skills, but nowhere to use them. Sigh. Wenqing sighed and casually patted Wang Yanran's shapely legs in her fishnet stockings, just like a dancer. This feeling was incredible. "You're terrible." Wang Yanran's cheeks flushed, and she slapped his hand away. "What happened to Miss Chat Queen? You were all fire and excitement online, but now you're scared in person." Wenqing joked as he drove. "It's moving too fast." "I'm nervous," Wang Yanran said softly. Wenqing frowned. "If you're nervous, just behave yourself. Don't send me those tempting pictures every day. You're starting fires you don't want to put out." "Whatever, I don't care." Wang Yanran stretched out her long legs. "Tada! Do I look good in fishnets?" Wang Yanran's legs were unbelievably long, but they weren't skinny sticks. They were nicely shaped, not too thin, not too thick, and in those fishnets, wow, her legs were, without a doubt, the best Wenqing had ever seen. "Why are your legs stretched so far? They're practically on my side. If you want me to touch them, just say so." Wenqing shamelessly fondled her legs for a few seconds, just for the thrill. Wang Yanran blushed. "Humph, you just want to see my fishnets, don't you? I'm being so good, and you're not even complimenting me. You're just taking advantage of me. How mean. Are you hungry? Since you're being so well behaved, I'll treat you to a fancy dinner," Wenqing said with a grin. They were just passing a 5-star hotel. Luxury cars like Bentleys, Rolls-Royces, and a few sports cars lined the entrance. Only the most luxurious vehicles were allowed to park on the ground at this hotel. Anything less had to go to the underground garage. Gu Wenqing drove his multi-million-dollar Ferrari Rafa straight to the hotel entrance. The doorman, seeing the Ferrari, immediately removed the no parking sign from the empty spot. Arriving at the five-star hotel, Yanran started feeling uneasy. What was he planning? Was he thinking what she thought he was thinking? She knew that things would eventually head in that direction, but not this fast. Yanran braced herself and came up with a flimsy excuse. I'm still, on my period. What's going on in that head of yours? Gu Wenqing chuckled, flicking her forehead. Who said we have to get a room just because we're at a hotel? They have a private chef here. We're just having a peaceful dinner tonight, no meat. Oh, okay, Yanran said obediently. Even though she was a bit materialistic, she was still a good girl, and liked to post edgy photos online. In reality, she was still with her first love. When they arrived at the restaurant, Gu Wenqing handed her the menu. Yanran was shocked at how expensive everything was. The hundreds of dollars menu prices made her dizzy. She came from an ordinary family, and the Hermes bag she owned had been saved for over a year. She had never imagined that a random signature dish from a five-star hotel's private chef would cost her a bag. It would be a shame to miss the signature dishes. Don't worry about the price, as long as it tastes good. Seeing that she wasn't making a move, Gu Wenqing ordered 5 or 6 of the most highly recommended dishes. Yanran watched as he checked off some of the most expensive items, and finally 2 bottles of red wine. The price of the wine made her gasp. Each bottle cost $88,888. 2 bottles would cost nearly $200,000. Yanran thought her eyes were playing tricks on her. She stared at the prices for a long time before she could believe it. He was spending nearly $200,000 on just 2 bottles of wine. Adding those signature dishes, wouldn't this meal cost over $250,000? The cost of this meal could cover years of savings for a student or a hard-working person. Was this the life of the rich? Spending money like water. Gu Wenqing was too cool. Yanran felt lightheaded, her face flushed as if she'd already downed a bottle of red. She felt like she was living in a dream. This kind of luxurious life was something she never dared to imagine. After ordering, they sat and chatted happily. A few minutes later, the waiter rolled the cart over and placed all the dishes on the table. Gu Wenqing asked the waiter to open 1 bottle of wine, planning to take the other one home to try when he couldn't sleep. Chapter 8. Shanghai License Plates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gu Wenqing asked, I've heard dancers are really flexible. Hearing the question, Yanran's first thought was, that unlocks a whole new range of positions. Sensing her strange look, Gu Wenqing frowned. What are you thinking about? I'm asking a serious question. Yanran pursed her lips. Then could you take your hand off my lap? Can't help it. Yanran blushed. You're awful. That they enjoyed a satisfying lunch, with Gu Wenqing taking full advantage. To be continued. Ding dong. Gu Wenqing's iPhone rang, with a beautiful woman right there. He didn't want to be distracted, so he asked Yanran to put the call on speakerphone. A pleasant female voice came through. Excuse me, is this Gu Wenqing? After he confirmed, she continued, Mr. Gu, hello. I'm calling from the Shanghai license plate auction. We're following up on the Shanghai A2000 plate you won for a premium of 11.111 million yuan to arrange the transfer and registration. The special license plate the system rewarded him with. Gu Wenqing was thrilled with the number. Without the system, no amount of money could have bought this kind of leopard plate in Shanghai. Shanghai is one of China's 4 biggest cities and its economic powerhouse. Getting a local license plate there is notoriously difficult. Owning one is harder than buying the car itself. Locals enter the lottery year after year, and many eventually give up and buy electric vehicles, which don't require a lottery. So, if regular plates are that hard to get, imagine trying to snag a plate like Shanghai A11111, with the speakerphone on. Yanran heard everything. Her jaw dropped. What did she just hear? Her student bought a license plate for over 11 million yuan. If that's just the premium, the total cost must be insane. For that kind of money, you could buy a huge apartment in the best part of Shanghai. This kid is loaded. Wang Yanran's mind was blown. She'd always thought rich people just had fancy food, clothes, houses, and cars. She never imagined someone would drop millions on a license plate. This world is crazy. She couldn't even fathom that kind of life. She was so shocked, she didn't notice someone had started touching her. The call continued. Mr. Gu, are you still there? Yeah, I'm here. Our auction house also has another plate coming up, Lu AZ 8888. Would Mr. Gu be interested? To clarify, the auction house employee added, there are only about 2,000 Shanghai AZ plates. Back in the 90s, one sold for a fortune. Besides its economic value, it also has historical significance. Gu Wenqing figured license plates that rare, and considering he planned on buying more luxury cars in the future, he couldn't pass it up. Just name the price, Gu Wenqing said. The asking price for Shanghai AZ 8888 is 50 million yuan. Gu Wenqing replied, that's it. I'll take it. I'm at the Zalelu 5-star hotel. Come here directly. After hanging up, the auction house employee was full of respect for Gu Wenqing. 50 million, and that's cheap. Compared to Shanghai AZ 8888, the plate he got for 11.111 million wasn't even worth mentioning. But still, 50 million isn't chump change. Most families couldn't earn that much in their entire lives, and this guy was just throwing it away on a license plate. If I had 50 million, I'd buy a house for sure. She thought. She suddenly felt curious about Gu Wenqing. Judging from his voice, he must be young. She grabbed her mirror and started fixing her makeup. She wanted to look perfect when she met Mr. Gu, back at the Zalelu 5-star hotel. Before Wang Yanran could even process the first call, she heard her student buy another license plate for 50 million. After the first purchase, this wasn't too surprising. When she finally came to her senses, she realized her body felt tingly. She gently swatted the massage hand away from her thigh. Her face flushed. Stop it. Gu Wenqing grinned. I'm just resting my hand there, don't move. Ugh. You're such a creep. Nearby, some middle-aged men overheard the conversation and sneered. Ha! Buying a Shanghai A2000 plate for a premium of 11.111 million? Yeah, right. What a joke. Kids these days are so full of it. They daydream all day and never do anything real. Point one of them, flaunting his Bentley key, slurred, smelling of alcohol. Hey, don't fall for this guy's act. There's no way that Shanghai A11111 plate is being auctioned. The guy who owns it is a big shot in the Shanghai business world. He doesn't need the money. This kid is just putting on a show for you. The Bentley guy made sure to show off his key. They'd had a bit too much to drink, and after spotting Wang Yanran, they had other ideas. Seeing Gu Wenqing's attempt to impress her, they decided to expose him. Hopefully, they could make her hate him, leaving an opening for themselves. Young man, one of them said in a condescending tone, as someone with a little more experience, let me give you some advice. You need to be honest and work hard. His eyes kept drifting to Wang Yanran's legs. Look at me. I work hard. Now I have 3 apartments in Shanghai and tons of cars. I even bought a new Bentley a few days ago. The Bentley guy was feeling good about himself, but Wang Yanran found his lecherous expression repulsive. I'd rather be with the kid. She thought. Gu Wenqing sat calmly, listening to the guy's boastful rant. Yeah, my big brother is amazing. Big brother's company makes over 10 million a year. Brother's worth hundreds of millions. Young man, you should learn from him. The others joined in, buttering up the Bentley guy. The Bentley man smiled arrogantly. He was rich and powerful. Wang Yanran wanted to say something, but Gu Wenqing stopped her. Gu Wenqing said slowly, are you done? Finished showing off? Chapter 9 I don #039, T dislike your smelly feet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You're worth hundreds of millions. You rake in $1 billion a year. Is that supposed to impress me? Gu Wenqing said with a sneer. he tossed his Ferrari keys on the table and pulled up his bank balance on his phone. The interest on my deposit alone is more than your company makes in a year. The guys were speechless. When they saw the string of numbers on the screen, Bentley's jaw dropped. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion. He counted it 3 times, just to be sure. An 11-digit deposit. What were they looking at? This kid had tens of billions in his account. Holy crap. They were terrified. They never imagined they were trying to act tough with a real whale. They suddenly felt weak, the alcohol evaporated, and they slumped to the ground, muttering, tens of billions. The drama was over. Since he'd had some wine, Wenqing couldn't drive the Ferrari. He hailed a cab and told Yanran to head back to campus on her own. He still had to take care of the hotel. A sharp-looking woman in business attire and black stockings stood waiting by the Ferrari, holding some documents to her chest. She was from the auction house. In the taxi, Yanran was in shock all over again. 11 billion. Even though she hadn't seen it herself, she'd heard those guys talking. Does he really have billions? That a part of her didn't want to believe it. On one hand, Wenqing drove a supercar worth millions and dropped thousands on a simple meal, not to mention dropping millions on a license plate. On the other hand, the idea of a college freshman having tens of billions in the bank was insane. Even if his family was loaded, they wouldn't just hand him that kind of cash. Why am I suddenly so hesitant? She'd always been the type to go after what she wanted, no holding back. Yanran smiled and decided to just ask him outright. She grabbed her phone and texted, "Is what those losers were saying true?" His reply came instantly, "Fake. Internet hoax." Yanran breathed a sigh of relief. She felt lighter. Learning that he didn't have billions in the bank made her happier, not disappointed. "Good, because I'm afraid I'm not good enough for you anymore." Yanran thought to herself, all she had was her looks, and that made her feel insecure around him. Meanwhile, at the Zalelu 5-star hotel, Yang Imo waited patiently. She spotted a handsome young guy walking toward her. He was dressed casually, with a youthful vibe, and stood about 6 feet tall. She couldn't help but stare. As he got closer, her heart started to race. Could that be Mr. Gu? She thought, someone who had paid millions for a license plate, and then bought another license plate for 500 million, shouldn't be so handsome, right? Deep down, people always assume that nobody's perfect. You rarely find someone who's rich, handsome, and tall, but when the guy walked up to her and said, "How did you guess my car was a Ferrari?" She was thrilled that Mr. Gu was so young and hot, the kind of alpha male you read about in novels. Yang Imo was stunned for a second, then stammered, "Mr. Gu." Wenqing nodded. "You still haven't answered my question." Yang Imo smiled. "Because the Ferrari is the only car here without a license." Wenqing felt stupid for asking such an idiotic question. He forgot that his Ferrari didn't have a license. "I had a little wine, so you drive." Wenqing tossed her the keys. I didn't bring flats." Yang Imo blurted out. Wenqing glanced at her outfit, typical business attire, a black suit and skirt over a white blouse, black stockings and high heels made her look even taller and sexier. While she wasn't as striking as Yanran, she was still gorgeous. Wenqing frowned. The supercar was a 2-seater, so they couldn't call for another driver. "Looks like he had to buy a pair of shoes," Wenqing asked politely. "What size shoe do you wear?" "Size 8. "Okay, wait here. I'll go buy you a pair of shoes." With that, Wenqing headed to the shoe store. Yang Imo was touched. Mr. Gu was such a gentleman. Seeing her high heels, he asked her to wait while he got her shoes himself. Most rich guys wouldn't do that. Working at an auction house, Yang Mo often dealt with rich people, and many of them treated women like trophies or punching bags. Soon, Wenqing returned with the shoes. Yang Mo sat in the Ferrari, stretched out her legs, and bent over to change shoes. Pop. A button came undone. Wenqing saw that as she leaned forward, her chest put so much pressure on the shirt that the buttons couldn't hold, and one popped open. Yang Mo's face flushed red. Mortified, she quickly pressed her shirt closed with both hands to cover herself. for a split second, Gu Wenqing saw a big, bouncy, white score. Seeing Yang Mo covering her shirt, he squatted down, took her slender calf in his hand and pulled off her high heels. Yang Mo trembled in surprise. What are you doing? Gu Wenqing said it deliberately, hold still. I don't mind your smelly feet. I don't. My feet don't stink. I dare you to smell them. Ashamed and angry, Yang Mo lifted her legs and held them close to Gu Wenqing's chest. Gu Wenqing looked at her black silk legs and feet in front of him. Reaching out, he grabbed her foot and slipped on the flats. Gu Wenqing's joke eased the tension, and Yang Mo wasn't as embarrassed as before. She buttoned up her blazer to cover her chest. Chapter 1088,888 #039, Yes, red wine is not expensive. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Mo was overwhelmed, staring at what felt like millions of Ferraris. She'd driven a lot of cars, sure, but never a Ferrari. Now, sitting in one, she was drawing a blank, totally clueless about how to drive it. Gu Wenqing watched from the sidelines, amused. Yang Mo looked endearingly lost. Okay, you start the ignition like this, then the handbrake is here. Gu Wenqing had to stand next to her and guide her, step by step. Inevitably, there was some physical contact, and Yang Mo blushed a few times. The GPS said the trip should take half an hour, but Yang Mo took almost an hour to get there. No telling how many drivers were cursing her under their breath. A Ferrari crawling along. What a waste. Along the way, Gu Wenqing kept telling her to speed up, to give it some gas. Yang Mo's reply was simple, I'm scared. I can't afford to wreck it. Gu Wenqing joked, if you can't afford it, you can just pay me back another way. Yang Mo retorted, you wouldn't mind dating an old lady? Age ain't nothing but a number. Besides, mature women are all the rage these days. Humph, men and their sweet talk, Yang Mo said, with a playful pout, but inside, she was secretly thrilled. Rich, beautiful, tall, and with a silver tongue. This was getting dangerous. What woman could resist that? Time flew. By the time Gu Wenqing had finished his tea, the license plate was ready. Shanghai A11111, slapped on the Ferrari. La Ferrari. They'd hold on to the other plate, Lu AZ 8888, for the next car. Ugh, this tea is awful, Gu Wenqing complained. I guess I'm only fit for water. You're only 18, Yang Mo pointed out, having learned his real age during their card game. Yeah, shocking, right? I'm just saying. I knew you were young, but I didn't realize you weren't even 20 yet. Makes me feel ancient. Yang Mo was a bit wistful. How old are you anyway? Gu Wenqing asked. 24. That's old. Gu Wenqing grinned. 6 years older than me. You think you've struck gold with Diamond Mountain? You're such a pain. It was a done deal. They exchanged WeChat contacts. Yang Mo had to get to work, so she took off. Gu Wenqing sobered up a bit and drove his Ferrari back to Shanghai University. At the school gate, the Ferrari was ogled by everyone. After registering the car with security, Gu Wenqing revved the engine and drove into the campus. He hadn't even parked before he could hear his roommates making a racket. As soon as Gu Wenqing walked in, Zhou Tao rushed over, practically shouting, Dude, you hit the jackpot. That senior sister is famous around Shanghai University. They say she's one of the campus queens over in the art department. Damn, no wonder she was so gorgeous. I thought she was just a local hottie. Turns out she's top tier. Seriously, Xihua is head over heels for you. You've really scored this time, Gu. The three of them bombarded Gu Wenqing as soon as he walked in, their faces green with envy. Ahem, Huang Zicheng cleared his throat, a little more reserved. He cautioned, I've heard that senior sister Xihua's kind of a gold digger, so take it easy, and don't go blowing all your cash. Gu Wenqing just smiled, saying that he and Wang Yanran were just friends. Zhou Tao, with the eyes of a hawk, spotted the red wine Gu Wenqing had brought. He grinned and sprinted to the bathroom to grab a mouthwash cup. He popped the cork and poured himself a full glass of red wine. He downed it in one go, and even burped afterward. Whoa! This red wine is the bomb. Way better than that swill we get back home for 35 yuan a bottle. Zheng Xiaohong poured himself a glass and sipped it with some flair. Huang Zicheng, who'd been around the block a few times, took a closer look. The brand of red wine looked familiar, like he'd seen it somewhere. Holy crap. At a friend's cousin's party. This brand started at 10,000. Damn it. You're wasting good wine. You're supposed to savor wine that costs tens of thousands, not chug it like it's soda. Huang Zicheng stared at the less than half-full bottle, his heart breaking a little. What? Tens of thousands for this wine? Zhou Tao stammered, shocked. Did I just drink like 5 or 6 grand in one gulp? That's half a semester's living expenses. Zheng Xiaohong was also surprised. Dude, is this stuff really that expensive? Why didn't you say something? Gu Wenqing brushed it off. Nah, it's nothing, don't sweat it. 8,000 for a bottle of red wasn't a big deal for him now. Huang Zicheng took a small sip, confirming that the taste was authentic, even better than he remembered from that party. Glancing at Gu Wenqing, who didn't seem to care, Huang Zicheng kept quiet. It turned out that, as someone from Shanghai, he'd been a bit smug, assuming his family was the wealthiest among his roommates. After this bottle of red wine, he realized he was wrong. The real big shot in the dorm was Gu, hands down.